that you guys feel like no matter what, we can't lose? Did it get
We're getting there. We're going to be very, very difficult to beat.
Now, after hearing that, tell me that doesn't sound like a focused James Harden, a determined James Harden, a Harden that isn't worried about all the outside noise and is ready to just win. Now, after a season where the 76ers didn't quite live up to what people expected, and I could say a part of that was because the duo and James Harden and Joel Embiid were really figuring out how to mesh together, but now after some time together, I wouldn't necessarily say they have things down pat, but sitting at the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference, things are starting to look a whole lot better in Philly. Many people wrote off James Harden and said he was done, he can't lead a team, he can't shoot anymore, and he disappears in the playoffs. I mean, honestly, I've heard it all when it comes to James Harden slander. Now, I won't sit up here and say that people are 100% wrong and he doesn't deserve any of this, because at times it looked like some of these statements were valid, but I definitely think some people took it too far. Now let me paint a picture for you. In 2018-2019, when Harden was with the Rockets, he had the highest usage rate in the league at 40% and was a landslide ahead of everyone, with the next highest being Joel Embiid at 33%. And when we look at his assist percentage as well, Harden was 4th in the league at 39.5%. So as you can see from the stats and from what we saw from Harden on the court during this time, it was a ball dominant, create the whole offense type of basketball playstyle. Now, times were great and entertaining when we seen Harden scoring like crazy and putting up historic performances, as that's what the Rockets needed from him. But then let's say you take Harden completely out of that role and system, put him next to another superstar or two, and tell him to spread the wealth a lot more and focus on getting his teammates involved. Well, this is exactly what happened to Harden over the last few years, and shifting your role drastically could result in a lengthy adjustment period. In just a couple years, you can see how much Harden's usage rate has went down and is sitting at 26% currently this season, and you can see his assist percentage has climbed back up to what it was in the 18-19 season with the Rockets, as he sits at 45% at the moment. Now, if you're one of those people that says, forget all this number talk, what are you really trying to say? Well, basically what I'm getting at is that Harden was handling a substantial amount of the offensive creation for this team, whether that be scoring for himself or setting up teammates, and now he has taken a step back from creating for himself as much and being so ball dominant to now pretty much playing better team ball and focusing more on playmaking. I like to call this the revised Harden, and I know some people don't like the way Harden plays now, but after a 20-20 performance against the Clippers and an almost 30-13 outing on Christmas Day against the Knicks, it's time we discuss Harden's play, as he is proving everyone who counted him out wrong. Making deliveries on time, whether it's the simple no look to the corner when the defense helps over too far, collapsing the defense easily with the dribble drive penetration to then kick it for an open three, or if it's a more difficult pass threading the needle in between two Raptors defenders, Harden can get it to his teammates wherever and whenever the opening presents itself. You really can't afford to be jogging back not paying attention, as Harden can get a pass down the court like a quarterback in a matter of seconds, and before you know it, Philly has already put 2 on the board. Watch as Siakam loses the ball trying to hand it back off to Barnes. Scottie just slowly jogs back and Siakam is left ball watching, and then Harden just flings this pass ahead to Harris for the easy slam. The way James can just receive the ball from a teammate or just grab it off the board himself and float this pass over the defense right on the money to Tobias is a thing of beauty. Having the discipline to get back is major when it comes to playing Philly, as you never know when Harden's going to throw these passes, but even if you do sprint back, sometimes Harden is just too good and can put it over the top of 2 defenders for the easy layup at the other end. You can see it's a real quick decision, and it's like Harden is already focused on looking up the floor for a teammate leaking out to send the outlet pass. It's way quicker to move the ball up the floor with the pass rather than pushing up the floor yourself, and we only see these full court dimes from a handful of guys around the league, and in particular, it's more of the savvy facilitating players, so that shows you how difficult these passes really are. Even if Harden decides to push up the floor himself, he's still in a passing mode, and that's when these slicing passes through the defense come out and leave the defense froze. This gets things rolling for the Sixers and activates Harden's hawk-like vision, and if you thought this was the only way Harden could deliver these passes on the floor, then let me tell you now, you're definitely wrong. Harden can dish it to teammates in many ways, but I think people get caught up in thinking you have to be a super flashy passer to be a great point guard, and this is why Harden's passing on the court tends to get overlooked. The simple reads like this one, where he comes off the screen for Embiid at the right pace for Tucker to set this back screen on Siakam, and then no look into Harris for the corner 3, definitely need to be more appreciated. Some guards will come off the screen 100 miles per hour and the play can't even develop, or they come off the screen so lazy with no intent that the defense can dictate everything that's gonna happen. Harden is controlled offensively and is now playing a game of chess and not checkers with the defense, and with subtle moves he makes a huge impact. Leading the NBA in assists per game at 11.1, Harden has the highest points created off assists at nearly 30 per game, and he also dishes out 18.3 potential assists per game, landing him at second in the league. You can't deny his ability to find the openings with his sharp passing, and you better be aware at all times because if the defense collapses, Harden then will make them pay. I mean, watch as Harden just uses Embiid's gravity to his advantage by looking hard at him as if he's going to pass it to him on the cut, but he sees Rozier creeping over and it's just a pass fake to make him fully commit, and James zips it to the corner for the easy 3. These skip passes are no joke as James can make the defense sync with his ability to get inside and then dart a pass to the open man. There's a lot that goes into these passes and you must make them quickly. If you wait too long, the defense could recover, and also if you throw it too high or too low, the pass could either be intercepted or fly right through your teammate's hands. If you don't believe me, well, watch how Harden comes off this screen from Harrell, and as DeMar shifts over to take away the pass, Harden slings this pass barely over Vooch's hands across court to PJ Tucker for the corner triple. And then as he gets right outside the paint versus the Kings, instead of forcing this pass across the key for a possible lay or maybe it ends up in a steal, instead Harden sends it out to Harris on the perimeter for the clean look. It's all about making the game easy for not only you but also your teammates, and you want to try to do it in the most simplistic way. Now, is this saying that Harden can't get a little flashy at times and add his own seasoning to his game? Nah, I'm not really saying that at all, because we've all seen Harden pull out passes that we didn't even think you could pull off. When you see him attract the double and smoothly deliver this pass off the bounce into the paint, it shows you just how slick his passing really is. It used to be a very high pick and roll above the break so Harden could operate with a lot more room, but now it's these more snug screen and rolls so Harden can make these quick drop offs to Embiid. It's such a perfect go-to for this duo because if they want to run it fast, then they just start high so they can both come downhill with a head of steam, and it leads to an Embiid and 1. Then Harden can slow it down off the screen, fake the pocket pass which makes Barnes lunge a little, and then wrap it back around Embiid for that pull-up jumper. Whatever option they end up going with, well, is pretty effective. Harden can play these pick and rolls well and time when to make the drop pass through, and that's what makes him so dangerous in these situations. At times you'll even see the defense immediately double Harden off the screen, and it's just a quick behind the back to an open Maxey for the deep range 3. With all these ways to pass the ball around the court, it makes it extremely difficult to slow Harden down offensively when it comes to his playmaking skill set, because whatever you throw at him, he has the ability to find the opening. He's also one step ahead of the defense and has the perfect touch to get it right to his teammates where they like it. Besides the great way Harden is leading the 76ers team in terms of facilitating, his scoring offensively is also on pace to be above his averages last season. Putting up nearly 22 points on 37% shooting from deep on 7 attempts, and also connecting on 56% of his 34 mid-range attempts, Harden has been pretty focused from the outside and is letting it rain. When defenses switch on the screen with Embiid and the big stays and drop, well, it allows Harden to get into these easy pull-ups in that in-between area. And instead of those step backs we would see from deep range, well, Harden's now baking defenders with it in that mid-range. I would love to see Harden be more aggressive finding his open spots to get off more middies, but I'm not sure if this offense provides that. Maybe hunting for a shot more aggressively off the screens or something will help, but I'm really not sure. For now, it's not that big of a problem, but come playoff time, Harden will need to get up to around 25 points a night or so, and these easy mid-range looks could definitely help out a lot. When you pair that with his great spacing ability since he can drain it from deep, it opens up so many options for this team. Most of Harden's threes come from pull-ups at 5.7 per game, and he's knocking them down at a 38% rate. I mean, we're seeing Harden pull up mighty comfortable from 30 feet, snatching ankles before stepping back to sink the and 1, and shoot right over the defense despite the heavy contest. Now, is this saying we're going to get back to old Harden? Nah, I don't really think that, but it does show you that Harden is still capable of turning on his scoring mentality and can pour it in from the outside whenever he wants. As I stated a couple months ago, we would all be seeing the redemption of James Harden this season, but now as the second half of the season is approaching, James Harden is out for revenge. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like before heading over to watch this Kevin Durant analysis. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.